guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 21 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day. Today we've got Ishrat Raji, Jan Lyons, Justin Fivecoat, Sally Anderson, Sandra Morellas, Carol Zamojan Miller, Ashlyn Schmidt-Lagrone, Barbara Richards, and Deborah Deneen. I want to thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we really, really do appreciate it and think you're awesome. And I want to thank all of our patrons and everybody who sent us mail this season. You guys are so amazing, and we really, really could not do this without you all. So thank you so much. Thank you. Here we are. It's finale day. Let's dive in. Okay, so yesterday, Nicole was packing up her stuff. Oh my god. And she was talking to the camera saying, you know what? I'm having a rough morning. I'm feeling like a loser. And she said she's a little down in the dumps. Oh, Nicole, you're not a loser. So then she says it sucks to know that there's a very good chance that she doesn't stand a chance here. She's in the final 3 with the showmans. She's not going to be able to compete for her own spot in the final 2. She's got to watch Holly and Jackson face off, and then they're probably going to take each other to the end. But she says, I have nobody to blame but myself. And Cliff has something to do with it, but okay. So she says, I would have preferred to be in the final 3 with people, you know, that it wouldn't be such a done deal with, but they fought their way to be here just as much as I did. They won competitions that I did not, and I'm just being hard on myself and having a pity party. And she says, I need to get over it because life is good. It's a good attitude, Nicole. So she starts crying. She feels bad that she couldn't win this for her family to help them out, and she apologizes to her family that she couldn't pull out those last few competition wins to get to the end. Girl, it's okay. Like, I don't want to jinx it, but there's a really good chance you'll be winning America's Favorite tonight, so that's something, right? Meanwhile, Jackson and Holly are chatting, and they're trying to figure out when they should tell Nicole that they're taking each other to the final 2. So it's not like a blindside, like she doesn't already know anyway, but it's like a courtesy thing. So they're also thinking, should we tell her together or separately? They don't know. They don't know what to do. So then it was time for straddle time. These two always gotta be like part to part. Anyway, they're talking about how they're nervous and excited to get back to the real world. Jackson is scared because he doesn't know what's waiting for him out there. He says, whatever's done is done. And Holly says, I'm gonna go to bat for you. Are you? Should you? So then they're talking about how they can't wait to bang with no cameras, no microphones. And then Jackson's asking Holly, who do you think is gonna win? And Holly asks, am I being realistic or optimistic? Jackson wants to know the realistic answer. Basically, he wants her to say to him, you're gonna win, baby. It's gonna be great. So she implies, like, yeah, you're probably gonna win. I'm trying to stay optimistic, though. So then Jackson says to Holly, his mouth says to Holly's ears that he is terrified that Holly will win. Oh my god! Pompous douchebag strikes again. You have been sleeping with this person for 3 months and you're like, ugh, I'm terrified that you're gonna win and not me. Ah! Oh my god! Okay, so Holly sarcastically says, thanks. And she says that she's terrified that she has no shot to win this. You would have a big shot if you won the final HOH and cut Jackson and brought Nicole to the final 2. I think people would be really wowed by that move, but is she gonna do that? Probably not. Okay, so they reassure each other again that they're taking each other to the final 2, and Jackson basically tells Holly that their relationship would be over if Holly did not pick him to go to the final 2. You know what I would say? Boy, bye! I'm getting my coin. Okay, so anyway, the final 3 have their final Taco Tuesday dinner of the season. And then it's time for Nicole to make her final pleas. A lot of finals in here. So Nicole talks to Holly first, and Nicole says, you know, I really did not give you enough credit for your game before. They had this conversation a few days ago where they kind of went through all their game moves and everything, and Nicole was like, wow, you've done more than I've given you credit for in the past. So Nicole's saying, I respect your game, I respect you as a person, and she says, I'm not expecting anything with when it comes to the final two. Obviously, you and Jackson are together, and you've had each other's backs all season. I just want to mention too, there was this one point where they were all hanging out on the poop particle couch in the bathroom, and Jackson had his head like in Holly's crotch, and she had her legs like wrapped around his neck. It was really freaking weird, and Nicole's sitting right there, and also they've been like playing cards on the sex stool. I feel like Nicole deserves an extra prize just for surviving this week with the two of them, because that is a feat in itself. But anyway, she's like, okay, obviously you two are a thing, and something, and you've had each other's backs all season. But at this point in the game, you gotta ask yourself, who do you think you'll win against? And if you don't win, who would you rather lose to? It's a great question. Okay, so Nicole says, honestly, I feel like I would lose against either of you two in the final two. You know, Holly or Jackson. But she's saying, if it is Holly versus Jackson in the final two, I don't know who's gonna win. You know, the jury could go with who won the most competitions, or who was nicer. So you never know what they're gonna do. It could go either way. But then they were talking about their gameplay, but also just how they've grown in the game as people. And we've all seen that Nicole had a big transformation this summer. She's a lot more confident in herself, a lot more sure of herself. And Holly says to Nicole, you are literally me at 24. Is she though? Holly Allen, 24, Wyoming. Is she? So Holly starts telling Nicole all about Miss Wyoming, and she competed in Miss USA, and she was full of self-doubt, and then she decided to do these pageants, and she was like thrust into the spotlight, and it was so cool because I got to be a role model. What happened? Yeah, so anyway, they talk about that for a bit, and then it goes back to the game. Nicole is really pushing that she would lose to either one of them in the final two. She just really wants to sit in one of those chairs. She has had a love for this game for, I think she said like 10 years at least. So this is like a dream for her. And she says, if you actually do view me as a younger version of yourself, would you take a chance on 24-year-old Holly? Nope. 31-year-old Holly says no. Okay, so Holly says, I'm not really sure which way the jury would go in either scenario, if she was up against Jackson or if she was up against Nicole. She feels like she and Nicole have played similar games. And then she kind of backtracks and she's like, yeah, I mean, like, we've won the same amount of competitions or whatever. Other than that, I feel like they've played vastly different games. If you think about it, Holly spent the first half of the game just, you know, in a power alliance, in a majority alliance, not really having a care in the world. She always had her showmance in her corner. And then if you look at Nicole, Nicole had to fight. She was on the outside. She may not have been a threat right away, but she didn't have that support system of being in the majority alliance. And then you could argue that she was in a duo with Cliff, but as we've seen in previous weeks, Cliff, it's not the same bond of a show, like that a showmance would have. Cliff was like, nah, I gotta make these deals. If Nicole's in them, cool. If not, still cool. I gotta watch out for me. Which again is fine. He should play for himself, but it's just not the same thing as having a showmance. So they've played very, very different games, in my opinion. But anyway, Nicole says, if you and Jackson have a final two, that's fine. I really just want to be considered. And she starts to get emotional when she says this. So Holly says, oh, you are being considered. Is she though? I have my doubts. So Holly says that she really wants to make a decision that her parents will stand by, will be proud of. Oh my God. Wake up. I think your parents would be really freaking proud of you if you took Nicole to the end and not Jackson. So this conversation continues for a while, but it's really not going anywhere. And then eventually Jackson interrupts them, and that campaign is over. I really wish Nicole would have talked more about, you know, empowering women and empowering young girls that are watching, because that's something that Holly has said in the past that she wants to do, and she hasn't really done that yet. So this would be a chance for her to really do that on a big platform. I think Nicole could have pushed that more, but there's only so much you can do when you're in the final 3 of the showmance, right? So anyway, then Nicole campaigns to Jackson one-on-one, and it's a lot of the same stuff that she was saying to Holly, telling Jackson, I just want to be considered. If you have a final 2, don't tell me about it. I want to go to sleep with a glimmer of hope at least. And she's saying, I don't know who would win if it's you against Holly in the final 2. And again, she says, I do believe that both of you would beat me. So then Nicole brings up how Jackson has talked about wanting to go to the end with people who have fought to be there, who've scrapped. And I really do just think that Jackson was saying this just in case Nicole or Cliff were in a position to keep him over Holly. I don't think he actually meant that he wanted to do that. No. Okay, so Jackson says if he wins the final HOH, he won't be making his decision until right before he has to. Come on, man. Really? So they agree that they're going to be close after this no matter what happens, blah, 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 blah. Okay. It doesn't seem like the campaigning worked, but at least she tried, right? You gotta try. So then today, Big Brother woke up the house guests at more of a normal wake-up time. The last few days, they've been getting up at like 4 p.m. But today, Big Brother woke them up to say goodbye to the live feeders before the feeds went down for good. So in the past, we've seen the final 3 all get together, thank the live feeders for watching this summer, say goodbye, whatever. They didn't do that this year. It was very on brand for BB21. They all did shout outs to their families separately. Jackson and Nicole were hanging out for the last bit of feeds. They were banging on stuff and like dancing around. It's like they just discovered last night that they could hit things and make noise, like percussion. So they've been really amused by that. And then while they were doing that, they're calling out to Holly to join them to do like something together as a group. But Holly is off on her own doing shout outs to her family and friends or whatever. I don't know. I'm talking about her morals. I don't know. Who cares? The feeds are done for the season. I want to say they went down at, I think it was 10 a.m. Big Brother time. So yeah, that's it for the feeds. The finale is tonight. So here is some of the stuff that we'll be seeing. I don't know what some of the filler stuff is going to be. Hopefully we'll get to look back on some of the more memorable moments since they didn't do that on the previous episode. But we'll see part 2 of the HOH competition play out. Then Jackson and Holly will face off in part 3. We'll see the jury roundtable. Nicole will probably be evicted. Jury questioning, final speeches, and they'll vote for the winner. We'll find out who that is. And more importantly, we'll find out who America's favorite player is. Hopefully Nicole. And yeah, I also really hope that they'll have time to talk to the pre-jurors and the jurors more, because I want to hear, I feel like they never really talk to the pre-jurors, and that bums me out because I want to hear what they thought watching this show after, you know, being in the house for a month or whatever. So that is something that I would like to see. Yeah. We need more of the Nick, Kat, Bella thing, I feel like, because that shit is wild. So anyway, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you want, I would really love to see your predictions. Leave them down below in the comments who you think is going to win. It seemed like a lot of people were saying yesterday that Jackson's going to win. I have to agree with that. I think I think the majority of the jurors will vote based on game, and I think Jackson is going to be the winner. But I'm more excited about America's Favorite Player, honestly. This season has been interesting. There were days when I felt like we would never get to this finale, but here we are. Yeah, so it's been a ride this summer. There have been highs and lows. Many, many lows. So I just really want to thank you all so much for watching, commenting, tweeting, Instagram messaging me, everything. It's been a blast to watch with you guys. Even when the seasons aren't that great, it's always nice to interact with you all and share in this experience with you. I want to thank Mom for being my partner in crime in all of this. Could not do it without her. And I also want to make a special announcement. So a lot of you guys have said in the past that you miss our Survivor recaps. If you're new here, we used to recap a bunch of different shows, including Survivor, but we had to cut back on that. But now we are excited to announce that we will be starting a podcast. So it's not going to be just exclusive to Survivor. We're going to be talking about all different reality shows. It's not going to be the same thing every single week, but right now I see us talking about, of course, Survivor, Dancing with the Stars, what else, Amazing Race, whenever that is on, things like that. And we'll probably sprinkle in some Housewives and such too, because we can't get enough of that. So yeah, that'll be coming soon, so make sure you guys check it out. We'll have more info on that on this channel. It's going to be starting like this week. I think like Friday, I want to say. So make sure you guys come back after BB is all done for that. It should be a lot of fun. We've never had like an actual podcast before, so me. Okay. Thank you guys so much for everything again. We'll see you for the finale recap tonight, and until then, much love.